Yeah, John, good morning and happy Easter to you and everyone at home as well. As you mentioned right there, Pope Francis did not lead the Easter Sunday Mass here in Vatican City, but we did at least see him and hear from him in some capacity when he delivered his Urbi et Orbi blessing. Now, as you noted, the pontiff speaking from the balcony of St. Peter's Basilica to a crowd of tens of thousands of worshipers that were gathered there below him. Now, he didn't speak for very long. His voice did sound rather weak, but we did not see him with breathing tubes, which is an improvement as of lately. We also know that earlier in the day, he met with Vice President J.D. Vance, the two only meeting for a few moments, exchanging some Easter greetings, according to a Vatican statement, as well as some gifts, not only for the Vice President, but for his children as well, who were joining him for that meeting. That meeting coming just one day after the way where the Vice President met with the Vatican Secretary of State, Cardinal Pietro Parolin, the second highest ranking official in Vatican City. Now, it is worth noting that Pope Francis is being rather selective with many of his appearances. On that Saturday meeting, deciding not to meet with Vice President J.D. Vance, but later in the day, meeting with a group of pilgrims from Pittsburgh who are making the trip out here for the Easter festivities. And really, that's been kind of the theme throughout the entire Holy Week. The pontiff not leading many of the services, but trying to make some of those appearances where he can, meeting with inmates on Thursday at a local prison here in Rome, and on Sunday, once again, gathering with worshipers in St. Peter's Square, seen there in a wheelchair. All of this speaking to the idea that Pope Francis is still looking rather frail, sounding rather weak in some form, but nonetheless, there are promising signs, such as his appearance today, where he is making some recoveries when it comes to that fight against pneumonia, John.
All right, Alex. And Holy Week is at the Vatican is very visually stunning, with the stations from the Cross of Procession at the Colosseum, as well as the Candlelit Vigil service on Saturday. What's the scene like there for Easter Sunday?
Yeah, it shouldn't shock anyone that the Vatican goes all out for Easter, but every year there is something a little bit more unique, and I do want to kind of direct everyone's attention to the 10,000 stems that are seen in St. Peter's Square. Those come from the Netherlands, and it's part of a 40-year tradition. It all started back in 1985 when a Dutch florist first decorated the steps of St. Peter's Basilica. Pope John Paul II at the time said he liked them so much that he continued inviting them year after year, and we see them now taking place here this year as well. In fact, Pope John Paul II saying thank you for the flowers, something that's really become sort of a slogan, if you will, for the entire region of Holland. And this year in particular, they're decorated for the Jubilee colors, the once every 25-year event. So even though it is part of a 40-year tradition, nonetheless, this year it is a little bit unique as well.